Again, so we have got three equations. One equation for azimuth angle, that is d square phi by d phi square plus ml square phi is equal to 0. And another equation for theta, that is zenith angle, and 1 by sine square theta and d by d theta sine theta d theta by d theta plus l into l plus 1 minus ml square sine square theta divided by sine square theta into theta is equal to 0. And the equation for the radial part r is another one. So we have got this three differential equation, and what we have to doing is solving this three differential equation yields us three quantum numbers, and we'll discuss this quantum numbers and the limiting values for this quantum numbers, and later we'll discuss the significance of this quantum numbers. Okay, so each of this is an ordinary differential equation for a single function and a single variable, and this equation and only the equation for r depends upon the potential energy E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0. Okay, so we are moving on to quantum numbers. So the first equation, this is the first equation, and if you are solving this equation, you will get it is somewhat similar to simple harmonic equation. Okay, so we'll get the solution as the form a e raised to iml phi. Phi of phi is equal to a e raised to iml phi. As we know that phi can have value. You can see the azimuthal angle. Azimuthal angle ranges from 0 to 2 pi, right? It goes from here and completing a cycle, it gives 0 to 2 pi. So the value of phi at 0 will be equal to value of phi at 2 pi. That is upon complete rotation, 360-degree rotation, it reaches the same point. So I can write that. I can write that phi. It is clear that phi and phi plus 2 pi both identify the same meridian plane, and hence I can write phi of phi is equal to phi of phi plus 2 pi. Right? If this is phi, phi plus 2 pi means what? Phi plus 360 degree will yields the same position again, since the variation of phi is from 0 to 2 pi. So I can write a e raised to iml phi is equal to a e raised to iml phi plus 2 pi. And this indicates that ml, this can happen only if ml takes positive or negative integer values. Okay, e raised to I theta is cos theta plus I sin theta, and this equation is possible, and if it is possible to write this equation only if ml can take positive and negative integer values including 0. Okay, so ml can have values 0, plus or minus 1, plus or minus 2, plus or minus 3. Okay, so this value for ml is known as the magnetic quantum number. Right, this is known as the magnetic quantum number, and for the solution to be of this form, ml can take only the positive, negative integer values including 0. And next we are moving to differential equation for theta. We are having the second differential equation for theta, and if you're trying to solve this, trying to find out the solution for this gives us the condition that the constant L is an integer that is equal to or greater than ml, that is absolute value of ml. So for solving this, we have to satisfy one requirement, and this requirement is expressed according to the condition ml is equal to 0 to plus or minus L, or L is an integer which is equal to absolute value, equal to or greater than absolute value of ml. So L can have a value equal to or greater than the absolute value of ml, right? So the constant L is known as, it yields another constant orbital quantum number. So one thing you have to keep in mind that this whole scenario is a bit complicated. അതായത് ഇത് നിങ്ങൾക്ക് പി ജി ലെവലാണ് ഇതിന്റെ ഫുൾ ഡെറിവേഷനും ഇതിന്റെ എക്സാക്ട് മീനിങ്ങും എല്ലാം പഠിക്കും. ഇതിപ്പോ നമ്മൾ എന്താണ് എസ് പി സിയിലുള്ള ഹൈഡ്രജൻ ആറ്റത്തിന്റെ ഇക്വേഷൻ എടുത്തു, എന്നിട്ട് അതിനെ സെപ്പറേഷൻ ഓഫ് വേരിയബിൾസ് ചെയ്തിട്ട് ഈ കോൺസ്റ്റൻസ് എല്ലാം കൊടുത്തു, എന്നിട്ട് എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞു ഈ മൂന്ന് ഇക്വേഷൻസും സോൾവ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ കണ്ടീഷൻസ് ഇമ്പോസ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞാലാണ് ഈ കോൺസ്റ്റൻസ് എല്ലാം ഇക്വേഷൻ സാറ്റിസ്ഫൈ ചെയ്യുള്ളൂ എന്നുള്ളൊരു കണ്ടീഷൻ നമ്മൾ എന്താണ് വി ആർ ടേക്കിംഗ് എ ലോട്ട് ഓഫ് തിങ്സ് ലൈക്ക് തിങ്സ് ഫോർ ഗ്രാൻഡഡ് നമ്മളത് അങ്ങനെ പഠിക്കുകയാണ് വി ഡോണ്ട് ഹാവ് എനി അതർ ഓപ്ഷൻ ഓക്കെ അപ്പൊ നമ്മൾ പി ജി ലെവലിൽ എത്തുമ്പോഴാണ് നമ്മൾ അതിന്റെ ഡെറിവേഷൻ ഒക്കെ എക്സാക്ട്ലി മനസ്സിലാക്കുന്നത് അപ്പൊ ഇത് ഇങ്ങനെ കിട്ടണം എന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ ദിസ് എം എൽ ഷുഡ് ഹാവ് value ranging from 0 to plus or minus 1 up to plus or minus L, and L is an integer whose value is equal to or greater than ML, taking it in the reverse order. Okay, so this constant L is known as the orbital quantum number, ML is called the magnetic quantum number, and you have one more equation, the third equation, the solution of the third equation, which is the radial part equation of the hydrogen atom, which is the azimuthal part equation and the zenith angle equation and the radial part equation and this part or this equation also have the wave function psi to satisfy certain condition, and this condition is that E be positive or have negative values. If the hydrogen atom is existing in ionized form, it can have positive value, but if it is existing in atomic state such that electron is revolving around the nucleus, means it is like it is a stable bound form. അങ്ങനെയായി ഒരു സ്റ്റേബിൾ ബൗണ്ട് ഫോം ആണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന് മിനിമം എനർജി സ്റ്റേറ്റ് ആണ് ഉണ്ടാവുക. ആ മിനിമം എനർജി സ്റ്റേറ്റിൽ ഇലക്ട്രോൺ ഇസ് ബൗണ്ട് ടു മൂവ് അറൌണ്ട് ദ positively charged nucleus indicates that it will be having what a negative energy, that is signifying or one of the negative values En signifying that the electron is bound to the atom, and it is specified by the equation En is equal to minus, and if you are solving the third equation, you will get a result of this form minus me raised to 4 by 32 pi square epsilon 0 square h bar square into 1 minus n square, that is equal to E1 by n square, and okay, and you can easily identify that this is the same equation that you have obtained for the energy levels of a hydrogen atom using Bohr atomic model. The result that you are getting for Bohr atomic model is the same result you are getting in the quantum mechanical approach for solving the hydrogen atoms. Okay, so what you have got another constant value n, and this n is called the principal quantum number, and the condition imposed on the principal quantum number so that it works well is that the principal quantum number must be equal to or greater than L plus 1, or I can write L is equal to 0 1 2 up to n minus 1, or n is equal to L plus 1, right? So we have obtained certain condition, and here since it is in the denominator n cannot take 0 values and starts from 1 2 3, and it goes like that way, and the value of n should be equal to or greater than L plus 1, or the value of L is such that it can take values from 0 to n minus 1. So we can tabulate that there are three quantum numbers n, L and ml, and L is the principal quantum number and it can take values 1 2 3. L is the orbital quantum number and it can take values 0 1 2 up to n minus 1, and ml is the magnetic quantum number. It can permissible values are 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 up to plus or minus L. So you just put this in box, it is very important. So to exhibit the dependence of r, theta and phi upon the quantum numbers n, L and ml, you can write the wave function. During the separation of variables, you have represented the wave function as a function of r, theta and phi. Now I can specifically write r as a function of n and L. Right, this is rightly connected. R is a function of n and n depends upon L, and theta is a function of L and ml, and phi is a function of ml. Right. So the wave functions r, theta, phi together with psi can yield you all the wave functions for hydrogen atom. So now we move on to significance of the three quantum numbers that we have obtained. The first quantum number is what? The principal quantum number, and you can see here principal quantum number, and you have expression for energy is some constant minus of some constant into 1 by n square, and n can take value 1, 2, 3. This indicates that energy level in the bound form, in the bound form, the electron can take only specified energy levels depending upon the value of n. Constant divided by n means it can take only specific negative energy values. That shows the quantization of energy. If it is an atom which is ionized or its electron is removed, means it can have positive value for energy. And for the whole atom, the energy will be having negative value, and this energy values will be quantized. And the quantization of electron energy in hydrogen atom is therefore described by the principal quantum number. So what is the significance of the principal quantum number? It gives the quantization of energy levels of hydrogen of the electron in a hydrogen atom. Right. That's all about the principal quantum number. And what is the significance of orbital quantum number? I'll give you the answer in a single sentence, and later on we discuss the orbital quantum number. The significance of orbital quantum number is that it gives the quantization of angular momentum magnitude. Angular momentum is a vector quantity. It is having both magnitude and direction. And the orbital quantum number L signifies the quantization of angular momentum magnitude. Now we are going to look how it gives the quantization of angular momentum magnitude. Right. So you try to so you get the radial part equation, that is r, the equation of r of the wave function psi, and this equation is of this form: 1 by r square d by dr of r square dr by dr. It is written here actually. Okay, 1 by r square d by dr r square dr by dr plus 2m by h bar square into e square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r plus e into minus L into L plus 1 by r square into r is equal to 0. This is the radial part equation. And this equation is only concerned with the radial aspect of the electron motion, that is its motion towards or away from the nucleus. Okay, and this is related to the radial motion of the electron. Radial motion of the electron means along the radius vector, and a radius vector is along like towards or away from the nucleus. But you are having a potential energy term along with the total energy term E0. And the presence of E0, the total energy in this equation. And the total energy includes what? Kinetic energy of orbital motion and kinetic energy of the radial motion. Okay. Plus the potential energy. Okay. And the total energy in this equation, the total energy includes the electron's kinetic energy of orbital motion also. So there is a problem. And the radial part equation has nothing to do with this kinetic energy of orbital motion. So there occurs a contradiction. Total energy includes the orbital kinetic energy or kinetic energy of orbital motion, but the radial part equation has nothing to do with this kinetic energy of orbital motion. So I'll have to remove this. This contradiction can be removed by the argument like this way. Kinetic energy of the electron is having two parts, that is radial part kinetic energy due to its motion towards or away from the nucleus, as well as the kinetic energy of orbital motion due to its motion around the nucleus. And this energy, potential energy, is the electrostatic potential energy. So total energy I can express as radial kinetic energy, orbital kinetic energy plus the potential energy. And Ke radial, Ke orbital plus minus E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r. And substituting this equation for total energy in this means there is already E square divided by 4 pi epsilon 0 r minus E square by 4 pi epsilon 0 r get cancelled, and there is K radial minus plus K orbital plus minus and taking this here, right. So taking this outside means 2m by h bar square is taken outside. Square bracket in the പുറത്തോട്ട് 2m by h bar square എടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ ഈ ടേമിൽ എന്താണ് 2m by h bar square ഉണ്ട്, ഈ ടേമിൽ ഇല്ല. അപ്പോൾ ഇതെന്താ എന്ത് വരുന്നു? h bar square by 2m എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞ സാധനം ഉള്ളിൽ വന്നു. അതാണ് ഇവിടെ വന്നിട്ടുള്ളത്. 2m by h bar square സ്ക്വയർ ബ്രാക്കറ്റിന്റെ പുറത്തെടുത്തു. കൈനറ്റിക് എനർജി റേഡിയലും കൈനറ്റിക് എനർജി ഓർബിറ്റലും ഉണ്ട്. അതിന്റെ കൂടെ h bar square by 2m r square into L into L plus 1 into r is equal to 0. So we need only the radial part equation. അപ്പോൾ എന്ത് കളയണം? ഈ രണ്ട് സാധനങ്ങളിൽ കളയണം. ഈ രണ്ട് സാധനങ്ങളും പോണം, ഈ ടേംസ് രണ്ടും പോണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ വാട്ട് ഡസ് ഇറ്റ് ഇൻഡിക്കേറ്റ്? Orbital kinetic energy should be equal to h bar square L into L plus 1 by 2m bar square. Okay, so I can write it to make it only a radial part equation. I can just take a substitution. K orbital is equal to h bar square L into L plus 1 by 2m r square. That means that both of them get cancelled. So orbital kinetic energy, normally നമ്മൾ എങ്ങനെ orbital kinetic energy represent ചെയ്യുക? Half mv orbital square. V is the orbital velocity. And we have orbital motion means circular motion. Circular motion means there is angular momentum. And we have the expression for angular momentum mvr, mv orbital r. അപ്പോൾ നമ്മൾ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? ഈ L നെ ഇവിടെ സബ്സ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്യുന്നു. So I have to square this. M square v orbital square by 2. That means m square by 2 orbital square v orbital square r square by r square mr square. അപ്പോൾ ഞാൻ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? We are multiplying numerator and denominator by mr square. mr square വെച്ച് multiply ചെയ്യുക. അപ്പോൾ എന്ത് കിട്ടി? m square v square r square divided by 2mr square. Right? m square v square r square എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ L ആണ്. അപ്പോൾ ഇതിനെ എന്ത് ചെയ്യുന്നു? L നെ ഇങ്ങോട്ട് സബ്സ്റ്റിറ്റ്യൂട്ട് ചെയ്തിട്ട് you will get an expression for orbital kinetic energy as L square by 2mr square. And we already have what is orbital kinetic energy. So L square by 2mr square is equal to h bar square into L into L plus 1 by 2mr square. So I can write L square is equal to h bar square into L into L plus 1, or L is equal to root of L into L plus 1 into h bar, and L can take value 0 to n minus 1. It is already written here. L can take value which is the orbital quantum number from 0 to n minus 1. Okay. So what does this indicate? It gives the quantization, and you have reached there. Angular momentum values can have only specific discrete values depending upon the value of L, and L cannot take any continuous values. L ന് 1.2, 1.4 ഒന്നും എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല. പക്ഷെ L ന് എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റുന്ന വാല്യൂ 1, 2, 3 up to n minus 1 മാത്രമേ എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റൂ. So you get only specific quantized value for angular momentum magnitude. So the electron can have only angular momentum specified by equation, and the total energy, the angular momentum is both conserved as well as quantized as a multiple of h bar, and h bar is h by 2 pi, and it is called the natural unit of angular momentum, having a value 1.054 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. You just keep in mind the unit and all, joules second. So from this equation itself, it is clear that the angular momentum can take only the discrete value, no continuous value, which is equal to root 6 h cross. And suppose an electron is having an orbital quantum number 2, L is equal to, small l is equal to 2 means capital L is equal to root 6 h cross. It can have a value 2.6 into 10 raised to minus 34 joules second. It is a very, very small value, but the angular momentum of Earth is 2.7 into 10 raised to 40. You can compare it to find the huge difference. So next is the designation of angular momentum states. It is customary to specify the electron angular momentum states by a letter. It is corresponding to L equal to, I can give notations for the angular momentum state. We have already mentioned that L can take values up to n minus 1. So if L is equal to 0, it is called the S state of the electron. That with corresponding, when L is equal to 1, it is called the Pth angular momentum state. When L is equal to 2, D. And L is equal to 3, F, G, H, I. And it goes like that way. So these are the designation of the angular momentum states. So the third thing that we have to study is what is the significance of the magnetic quantum number ml. And this magnetic quantum number ml signifies the quantization of angular momentum direction. Angular momentum is a vector quantity having magnitude. Magnitude is quantized with orbital quantum number and the direction is quantized with magnetic quantum number. Angular momentum, like a linear momentum, is a vector quantity. And we can completely describe it in terms of direction as well as magnitude. I can say that if the electron is moving in this direction in xy plane, what happens? Its angular momentum will be along the direction of the thumb. L is equal to r cross p. Okay, or mbr. So the direction of thumb gives the angular momentum direction. So the orbital angular momentum L, orbital quantum number L, determines the magnitude L of the electron's angular momentum. That is, electron's angular momentum magnitude L is equal to root of L into L plus 1 into H cross. And the electron revolving around, and what is happening here is that electron is revolving around the nucleus in an assumed circular loop. And the electron which is moving can be considered to a current loop. Electron electron. Rate of change of electron charge under dq by dt gives a current. So charge electron move it constitutes a current loop which produces a magnetic field, and it is having a magnetic dipole. So normally it interacts with an external magnetic field. So the atomic electron possesses an angular momentum and it interacts with an external magnetic field. So what happens is that this magnetic quantum number specifies the direction of L by determining the component of L in the direction of a magnetic or arbitrary magnetic field. An arbitrary magnetic field in the presence L in the orientation along the z direction. Arbitrary direction z direction എടുത്തു. അപ്പോൾ L ഒരു ആർബിട്രറി മാഗ്നറ്റിക് ഫീൽഡിന്റെ പ്രസൻസിൽ L എങ്ങനെ ഓറിയന്റ് ചെയ്തിരിക്കുന്നു എന്നതാണ് നമുക്ക് മാഗ്നറ്റിക് ക്വാണ്ടം നമ്പർ തരുന്നത്. Magnetic quantum number specifies the direction of L by determining the component of L in an arbitrary field direction, and this phenomena is referred to as space quantization. And this is very important. You have to study it like this way. The magnetic quantum number specifies the direction of L or orientation of L by considering the component of this angular momentum along the direction of an arbitrary external magnetic field, which gives us this phenomena gives the space quantization. And space quantization is indicated by, suppose we are having a magnetic field along the z direction. So the component of the magnetic field along z or the angular momentum along z direction is ml h cross, and ml can take values 0 plus or minus 1 up to plus or minus L. That is, it can take 2L plus 1 values. രണ്ട് Lകൾ ഉണ്ട്, plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 up to plus or minus L. അപ്പോൾ ഇത് 2L ആയി. പിന്നെ 0 കൂട്ടി ഒരു വാല്യൂ കൂടെ. 12 ml ന് എത്ര വാല്യൂസ് ഉണ്ട്? 12 plus 1 values ഉണ്ട്. So the possible values of ml for a given value of L ranges from plus L, passes through 0 and reaches minus L. So the total number of orientation possible for the angular momentum vector in an external arbitrary magnetic field along z direction is 12 plus 1. അപ്പോൾ എത്ര രീതിയിൽ ആംഗുലർ മൊമെന്റം വെക്ടറിനെ ഓറിയന്റ് ചെയ്യാം ഒരു എക്സ്റ്റേണൽ മാഗ്നറ്റിക് ഫീൽഡിന്റെ പ്രസൻസിൽ? ഇറ്റ് ക്യാൻ ഓറിയന്റ് ടു 12 plus 1 directions. When L is equal to 0, what does it mean? 2 into 0 plus 1. Only Lz can have a single value of 0. L 1 ആവുമ്പോൾ, small letter L, orbital quantum number 1 ആവുമ്പോൾ Lz ന് എത്ര values ഉണ്ടാവും? ml എന്ന് പറഞ്ഞാൽ 12 plus 1. 2 into 1 plus 1. 3 values ഉണ്ടാവും. 3 values എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് എന്താണ്? ഒന്ന് 0 ആയിരിക്കും, ഒന്ന് plus or minus h cross ആവും. പിന്നെ L2 ആവുമ്പോൾ Lz ന് എത്ര values ഉണ്ടാവും? ml can take 12 plus 1 values. That is 0 plus or minus 1 plus or minus 2 h cross. When L is equal to 2, Lz may have 2 h cross, 0 minus h cross or minus 2 h cross. And this shows the space, and this figure shows the space quantization of orbital angular momentum. Here the orbital quantum number is 2, and accordingly the ml can take 12 plus 1, 2 into 2 plus 1, 5 possible values of magnetic quantum number ml. And each of these ml values shows gives the specific orientation or specific direction of angular momentum with respect to the arbitrary z-axis, which is assumed to be the direction of the magnetic field. So on a whole summary, we have three quantum numbers: principal quantum number, and its significance is it gives the quantization of energy; orbital angular momentum quantum number, it gives the quantization of angular momentum magnitude given by, here it is quantization of energy given by En is equal to minus E0 divided by n square, and here capital L is equal to root of L into L plus 1 into H cross, and the quantization of angular momentum direction is given by space quantization. Lz is equal to ml h cross, where ml can take value 2l plus 1, 0 plus or minus 1 to plus or minus L, and the boundary condition for the wave function showing up that how what all values can this quantum numbers can take. N is equal to 1, 2, 3 up to L values, L plus 1 values, and L is equal to 0, 1, 2, 3 up to N minus 1 values, and ML is equal to 12 plus 1 values from plus L to minus L through 0. And what are the restrictions that are imposed for quantum numbers? N can never have a value 0 and will be always greater than 0. And the value of L is always less than N. Right, L is always less than N. And maximum value of L is N minus 1. And value of ML is or magnitude of the absolute value of ML is always less than or equal to L. ML cannot have a value greater than L. Value of ML is 2L plus 1 plus L to minus L. Right. So you study well all these things. It is very easy to relate and study. So the next question is that why is only one component of L is quantized? Another question. Okay, the answer is related to the fact that L can never point in any specific direction, but instead it can lie only on a cone in space, such that we are having a projection Lz is equal to MLH cross. L in എല്ലാ തോന്നിയ values ഒന്നും എടുക്കാൻ പറ്റില്ല, and it can take along the arbitrary z direction, it can take the value Lz is equal to MLH cross. If it is not taking these values, the uncertainty principle would have been completely violated. If L is fixed in space, what does it mean? Lx, Ly and Lz can have definite values. If all this angular momentum can have definite value, means electron would be confined in a definite plane, and electron's position could be easily identified. If L is in the z direction, the electron L is in pakka z direction, what does it mean? L correct ആയിട്ട് z directionലാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ അർത്ഥം എന്താ? അതിന് പെർപെൻഡിക്കുലർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള xy പ്ലെയിനിലായിരിക്കും ഇലക്ട്രോൺ നിൽക്കുക എന്നുള്ളത്. What does that mean? You know the position of this electron, and this can occur only if the electron's momentum component Pz in the z direction is infinitely uncertain. It is impossible to find the position and momentum at the same time. Position correct ആയിട്ട് കിട്ടിക്കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ completely uncertain ആയിരിക്കും momentum. Right. It is of course impossible. If it is to be a part of hydrogen atom, means it could have some certain value for its momentum also, electron's momentum also. So in reality what happens? Only one component of L, that is Lz of L, together with its magnitude can have take definite value. The direction is quantized, and that is one component of L, that is Lz, along with its magnitude of L can take definite value, such that L is always greater than Lz. The electron is not limited to a single plane. Electron ഇന്ന ഒരു പ്ലെയിനിലാണ് കാണാൻ പറ്റുക എന്നുള്ളത് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. അങ്ങനെയാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന്റെ പൊസിഷൻ പറയാം. നമ്മളിവിടെ പറയുന്നത് എന്താണ്? പ്രോബിലിറ്റി വേവ് ഫംഗ്ഷൻ ആണ് പറയുന്നത്, പ്രോബിലിറ്റി ഡെൻസിറ്റി ആണ് പറയുന്നത്. So there is an inbuilt uncertainty in the electron z coordinate. അപ്പോൾ എന്താണ് ഇലക്ട്രോണിന്റെ z coordinate എന്ന് ചോദിച്ചാൽ നമുക്ക് കൃത്യമായിട്ട് ഇന്ന ഡയറക്ഷനിലാണെന്ന് പറയാൻ പറ്റില്ല. It can take any direction, right? Suppose electron is in this plane, ഇലക്ട്രോൺ ഈ പ്ലെയിനിലാണ് നിൽക്കുന്നതെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന് പെർപെൻഡിക്കുലർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഡയറക്ഷനിലായിരിക്കും ആംഗുലാർ മൊമെന്റ് ഉണ്ടാവുക. ആ ആംഗുലാർ മൊമെന്റത്തിന്റെ ഒരു ഓറിയന്റേഷൻ ഡയറക്ഷൻ ആണ് ML(h cross) എന്ന് പറയുന്ന LZ. റൈറ്റ്. സപ്പോസ് ഇഫ് ഇലക്ട്രോൺ ഇസ് ഇൻ ദിസ് പ്ലെയിൻ, ഈ ഡോട്ടഡ് ലൈൻ പ്ലെയിനിലാണെന്നുണ്ടെങ്കിൽ അതിന് പെർപെൻഡിക്കുലർ ആയിട്ടുള്ള ഡയറക്ഷൻ ആയിരിക്കും ആംഗുലർ മൊമെന്റം മാഗ്നിറ്റ്യൂഡ്. അപ്പൊ അതിന്റെ ഒരു കമ്പോണന്റ് ആയിട്ട് ML(h cross) എന്ന് പറയുന്നത് LZ ആയിട്ട് അവിടെ തന്നെ കിടക്കും. റൈറ്റ്. Okay, so LZ, the component of LZ can take one single direction. Thus, there is an inbuilt uncertainty in the electron Z coordinate. The direction of L is no longer fixed. It can take, depending upon the plane in which the electron lies, it can tilt. But it will have a component of L along the arbitrary Z direction. And the average value of Lx and Ly will be 0, and Lz have a, or will always, for all direction, it will have a specific value ML(h cross). Hope it is clear for you, and we'll discuss the probability distribution function, then the radiative transitions, selection rule, and Zeeman effect. Okay, we'll finish off within one or two class we can finish this portion, and we'll discuss some of the problems. Okay, so if you go through this, write down the notes. This is a very important chapter in quantum mechanics. So if you are having any doubts, you can come.